Copy link.
Don't tell my mom.
More beer, more weed. Get ready.
God, would you quit getting high? Let's start this shit.
Red talk, motherfucker, get down with it, identity, shitting all over what that fake bitches, man, I kinda smoking dank, kicking ass on the side, bringing that flavor, she elevating the vibe, boom, bitty, bye-bye, who's getting high, everybody is, bitch, watch how time flies, with that real talk, with a steel cog, taste it, jizz with a twist, and your chin on your faces, podcast basics, aced it, going ape shit, up the ante when they blaze, and I take it in, from the gays to the scum to the friends, every Wednesday when the day ends, all enemies wish they had the synergy. This is Ratt talk, catch an ice bag injury. Y'all moving like a motherfucking centipede. We accelerate just to devastate the industry. Hearts got the boss weight, this could be the enemy. Turn that fucking mic on, I guess we'll have to see. Ratt talk.
Yeah, that's right, motherfucker. We're beginning a whole new episode of Ratt Talk. We're here taking hits, talking shit. I'm your host, Matt the Ratt. With me, as always, is the beautiful Amanda Cano.
What's up? What's up?
And today, our guests are Federico Gabriel of the Sunset Couriers. Couriers. God, dude, last episode, the episode that I played you guys, I got so fucked up at the end. Like, I don't know if you heard me, how many times I did Couriers. Like, exactly. In my head, it was that's what it turned into. Was like Sunset Coors. Like, that would be really badass to have a Coors on Sunset. No, you're out there. Welcome, welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome. Making fun of our name.
That's it. Show's over. Fuck this. But no, I mean, thank you guys. First of all, thank you for letting me play your guys' music. I mean, that's what I enjoy being able to present a broader audience to more people, or at least put it, in my perspective, bring into light
we like to
of
provide
what other people, what other people are doing. Because I'm not really doing anything special. I mean, I sit behind a fucking computer talking to a microphone. You guys are actually, out there performing, writing songs, like getting your soul out there, man. Like, I admire that, and just thank you for having something for me to put out there also.
You're welcome. Thank you for showing us. It was kind of a surprise.
I mean, even then, you guys actually asked to come on the show, too, which even made me feel happy, too.
It was a rap song. Fuck. It was a rap song.
Really?
I still Federico have to be on this podcast.
That's what it was.
There
you go. I know. Shout out Scribble, dude.
I know. He blessed us with a really
really fucking cool, awesome
theme
rap
song.
And then we got new logos, too, and shit from
we
Justin.
got new shirts and shit.
You got shirts?
Yeah, we got shirts, man.
Shirts.
You got to step up a little to the microphone. Sorry.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Now you can hear yourself. There.
Got to kiss it a little bit.
Yeah. I know. Sorry. I know. We give you the comfy chair, and you're like, oh, fuck.
That's why you got to scoot real close and then get comfy.
Yeah.
Then
We just need to get stools. That's what it needs to be. We'll just got to get stools for
so no one can just sit back. Like
nobody's comfortable.
Either that or headsets like Britney Spears and shit.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with a headset.
But, okay, so we already mentioned you guys are from the band called Sunset Couriers. Couriers. And so tell us a little bit about you guys come from Norwalk, right? That's what it says.
Yeah.
You guys grew up there, from the city itself, or you guys are
we're stuck there for life.
Really? Yeah.
Even if
your heart and soul.
Even if we get money, we'll probably be stuck there still.
Maybe different houses.
Norwalk's one of those areas you get stuck in. I know Whittier, Norwalk, La Habra. I know tons of people who stay there.
Boy.
I went to high school out in in Whittier area, so
dang.
Mm-hmm.
So south or east?
I went to St. Paul High School, so it's like Santa Fe Springs.
You're friends with the homies.
Okay.
So Dom and all those dudes.
I don't know.
I
grew up in Almani, just a couple blocks away.
Nah. I don't know who you're talking about, but St. Paul is a pretty small school.
I know. So
maybe,
you've probably seen their faces plenty of times.
Depending on what year they were there, because who knows? I could have been long gone then.
And so you guys, I'm assuming went to school together as well.
No, actually. We were just acquaintances with my cousin, really.
Really?
And
okay.
At some point, I think we just started hanging out a lot more than they were hanging
Naturally,
out.
that happens.
And so, I don't know. It was like the first date. It was pretty cool. It was a nice ride. We read some books together.
Had a picnic out in the park. And,
So
skip some rocks down by the lake. It sounds really romantic,
No, but it was cool. We just kind of always had the same interests in things. We were like at the time a lot of philosophy, just bouncing off ideas a lot.
That email, there's this email. I was just like, because I didn't have anything, didn't have Facebook, nothing. I was just like, if I'm gonna make a bookmark, I just send my friends emails of stuff I'm interested in. I'm like, oh, I'll read this later.
Oh, okay.
And like he popped up the email the other day. It's like, man, you're trying to brainwash me way back then. There's a bunch of like philosophy things.
Kill your parent. Little subtext like.
So you just like in the middle of the night with a knife all the time.
But so you guys have been. Yeah, how long have you been playing your instruments then? Because Gabriel, you play drums, and then Federico, you play guitar and vocals. How long have you been doing that?
Vocals for 4 months.
Really? There you go.
Drums for 4 months.
There you go.
Shit.
Really?
Just fucking whipping
No.
out the
Well,
sticks.
there's some background behind because like what happened is that we're me and Federico were in one band before, and
Okay.
that one pretty much like crashed and burned in a way, and
As many bands do.
happens.
we wanted
It
to
happens.
keep playing music, and in the area we're in, it's really hard to get a drummer. So, we're just like, screw it. Like, I'll jump on drum set. I've done it before, kind of. But like, I was like, let's just get serious about it. And so Federico had to step up and jump on vocals now and be like, now the.
So you actually were vocals before then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was the dude.
So what was this band that you were in before then? Before
Prepare
to
to
Stop.
Prepare to Stop?
Yeah.
It's funny because I was going to ask you about that. It's like, is that you, Prepare to Stop? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so.
Because on his, it says Sunset Couriers.
I
I'm going to fucking do that all goddamn night.
I try to promote
Sunset
it.
Couriers.
Couriers.
I forget to update my stuff, so,
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I forget to update my shit all the time,
And,
too.
yeah, with the other two that are not here today, Caesar and Peter, they're another group as well.
Suburban Blues
Suburban
and like
Blues.
True Vibes, all these different groups.
Okay.
So
And it's all been predominantly the same genre that you guys have been playing for most of the time?
No,
What was Prepare to Stop?
it was a
like
lot
punk.
more rowdier. Yeah.
Really?
Aw,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
like Fiddler style.
Yeah.
We just had like the craziest like house parties in
Nice.
Norwalk.
Right on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that shit.
Yeah, I like that. But, I mean, that's a contradicting band. Like, Prepare to Stop. Like,
It finally stopped.
yeah.
That's what everyone always said to me after, like, oh, the music has stopped. I'm like, you're fucking gay. Like, dumb jokes, please.
Oh shit.
You know what? It just dawned on me when we were talking about St. Paul. You know, Dom and Josh.
Exactly.
Josh is really
From-
cool. We
yeah,
just played
from the
with him the other
Apollos.
day.
Yeah.
Josh was in my class. I knew we rolled in the similar circles. We knew a lot of
Man.
the same people.
We like geek over like a lot of like bad religion and
Is
stuff.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
the one
yeah.
that
Like-
we're gonna have?
Yeah,
on,
we're gonna actually have the Apollos
Oh,
on
nice,
there
nice.
pretty soon. Yeah, it was
Oh,
weird
yeah.
though because he invited me to the show at Meow Meows. I couldn't make it out that day. I can't remember why. But and then we saw that you guys were on that as well. I think that's because we promoted. I'm like, wait a minute, I've got two different bands who we know are playing at the same show. That's
Yeah.
cool. And they're like, oh, okay, they know each other. Small world.
Yeah, exactly. So they want to come on. They're interested on coming on and everything. And
Yeah. So that'll be exciting.
Dom's
They're
freaking
cool.
funny.
Oh yeah.
Dom's freaking funny. Makes me laugh all the time, especially on stage.
Oh, they're cool dudes. They've always been cool dudes. Dom's he's a couple years younger, so I didn't really get to know him too much. I think he was like 2 grades below me. So, but yeah, he was super cool. And then Josh, of course.
Where is St. Paul's?
It's in Santa Fe Springs, like
Yeah.
Whittier area. If
Okay.
you know Whittier, it's off of like.
Because there's a St. Paul's church, and I just passed by that one, and I'm like, wait
Nah.
a second.
No.
It's on the end of that end.
I don't know of the church St. Paul because there's no real church. It's kind of just a campus amongst a whole bunch of industrial shit. It's really random. It's on a Greenleaf off of kind of like if you take from Whittier Boulevard and you just Greenleaf.
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's really like nothing there. I just call it Whittier because nobody knows Santa Fe Springs, but it's technically like right
Santa
next
Fe
to Whittier.
Springs.
It's like on the cusp of Whittier and Santa Fe Springs and that hurry up. But yeah, it was a small little Catholic school. I did my time. So.
But anyway, back to you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no,
I know,
that's
I was,
way-
actually, I got sidetracked too. We got a buzzing thing that's in the back and it's bugging the shit out of me. Sorry.
I hear it a little bit.
Yeah. No, but now I hear it all the fucking time. Now I did it to myself. So we mentioned
Philosophy.
yes, and then prepare to stop. Yeah. Now we're gonna learn. Now we're just gonna have a whole new outlook on life right now. Ladies and
There you
gentlemen.
go.
I know.
Just start talking about the meaning of
Yeah.
life and shit. Fuck.
After prepare to stop,
Yeah.
you guys obviously stopped. You said that was more of a punk vibe and everything.
Oh, hell yeah.
So is that where you can say you like your roots are from? Like you guys come from more of a faster pace, like
not for me.
He's smiling and shit.
Yeah,
Like fuck
yeah, definitely. For me, it feels a lot of Radiohead.
Okay,
A lot of
Alrighty.
that, like
that
self-slowly
90s
kind of stuff. But yeah,
Alice in Chains type.
No, not Alice in Chains.
No?
That was too dad rock for me.
Really?
It's fucking tight.
Yeah.
It's fucking tight, but it's just like
it's dad rock. Yeah, that's actually kind of accurate.
Yeah.
So then how did you guys come together like as Sunset Couriers after that? Couriers.
The night after, we were just like, fuck it. We're sad. Let's play. That's it. That's it. Well, at least that's my end. I was like, fuck it. I want to play a game.
Really?
It was me and Federico's goal to always go ahead and like keep playing, keep doing what we like to do, and
so it doesn't matter like what you guys like what your band's
it
called.
could have been like
as long-
shitty, like it could be a shitty, but as long as he played, it's cool. And
That's a good name for a band, just shitty. What's your
You know,
band?
as I do.
What's the name of your band?
Shitty.
So we just decided to say, hey, like we could play. Let's just keep playing because we had the same mindset, and we were even gonna go like 2-man band like after this.
I mean, yeah, because you decided like fuck it, I'll just pick up the drums.
Yeah,
Like,
and hit up Caesar. He hit up Caesar to play the bass.
alrighty.
He's
So
originally
how did you know Caesar? How did you meet Caesar?
Oh man, so let's see. We played Prospector all the time in Long Beach. We always played Long Beach with Prepare to Stop, so like all the time. So there was one night where we got to host, and like I got to meet the guys more from the other side of Norwalk. Because me and Gabe are one side of Norwalk, and those other dudes are the other side of Norwalk.
Yeah, those are the
So
other
it's just
fuckers
like,
from
yeah.
across the town.
We're just like, give them a chance.
Exactly.
Nah.
We'll see if these guys are cool. We'll see if they're cool or not. If not, then fuck them. They're from the other side anyway.
There you go.
I want to see
Shit.
them again.
Nah. Oh, there was like a moment where Caesar was just like jumping around on bass, and they all changed instruments. And we're like, all right, cool.
Oh shit.
But when he played bass, there was like a something, and he always tells himself he's a guitar player. But I was just like, hey man, like you jumped around a lot in bass. That's a lot of energy. Your riffs are really cool. You want to play with us?
Okay.
And it was kind of a rocky like start. Like we haven't.
He
really
didn't
played
want to
with
be a
you.
bass player. He was like,
Maybe
okay,
I don't know. He was just like, but it worked, and like he was still down, and he was just like, Gabe was just like, well, we might as well
Started
get
to feel
Pete.
it a little better.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty tight, and like it's just the other side, and now it's Norwalk United. That's just like it's how I think of it.
Really?
Yeah, and Caesar played with Pete, and like Gabe was just like, well, we might as well get Pete. I was like, okay, cool, might as well get
sounded
those
so
dudes.
empty without another guitar.
Without another guitarist. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know that's a really hard thing to accept too, because my brother was in a band before and they were a 3-piece.
Yeah.
And they've always told their other guitarists, like, we need a second guitarist. But he was real, hard-headed. They never really did it. But when they recorded, because they got a really good recording session, they recorded 2 guitar parts. And it sounds fucking great. Like, it sounded full.
Yeah.
And, so, like, accepting that and being like, oh, yeah, let's get another. Well, I'm pretty sure it was a lot easier for you guys. Like, you're a little more open about it. Like,
Well, like, man, that's kind of funny because I have the same story with the last band as well.
Really?
There's a point where we're just like, because me and the drummer and the bassist played in a couple bands beforehand, and we decided like, oh, let's keep it a 3-piece, And at some point, it just, I don't know, Federico really wanted to play, and I just had to like, I was like, all right, screw it, let's go ahead and try it out, and I
just
just
get him in here.
Well,
Like,
it's
yeah.
Kevin. Kevin was just like, "Hey, man, we really need a second guitarist." And I was there. I'm just like, "Look, you guys, I really want to play."
yeah.
And, like me and Gabe were working the same
How
job.
long have you been playing guitar at that point?
Like actually dedicated, like maybe a couple months.
Yeah.
I always had a guitar and I knew a couple chords, and I just play around with stuff. And it's funny because I come from a punk background, but all
Yeah.
the songs I learned were like indie stuff.
Okay.
So I was just like,
That's what
Pretty much.
I mean, that's what came natural to you, pretty much. So,
yeah.
so
that's
now
what I
you
like.
got this urge to play. You got this itch that you want to play and you want to be in this band, and you had a little pushback, I guess.
with pushback
from
like,
what? Oh, yeah.
From- well, because you were saying you had a guy that didn't want a second guitar piece. You guys were a 3-piece, and
There was always some kind of conflict going on
Yeah.
with like different ideas or adding something new. It was really hard to get it like pushed through all the way. So, that
I mean,
was-
do you still face those problems like with?
No, not
with
really.
something?
No,
Yeah.
it's like if anything, our goals of where we want to be it's like our idea of getting there is different. But for the most part, we all kind of like even last night after every show we played, we just sat down and just talked about like, hey, this is what needs to be addressed. This is how everybody feels right now.
Do you guys wear uniforms?
It was great. Like it just,
we did.
It's so much better to work with everybody that can like get on the same page or get the idea that we want to go somewhere with it, and you know, willing to actually work with everybody else.
And the fact too that you guys have already like you pretty much are from the same scene. Like you know the group, the music, and the crowd, I guess, that you want to appeal to, or the sound. I guess the sound too that you want to obtain. Yeah, pretty much. It's got to be a lot easier being able to know that you have someone else that has the same interest. Obviously.
Yeah, yeah. It's like blending,
right?
It's blending right now.
Perfect blending. So then, when you guys do get together and play, I mean, do you guys I guess write something before, or is it more natural? Like, hey, I came up with something, come up with the drum part, or do you like go home and write something, or come in and be like, hey, like I think this would sound good behind it, or
it's a bit of both. Like Federico's the main writer so far for a lot of material that we've had so far, you know, and we've been working off that, but recent sessions have been like, you know, I got this idea really quick, and then from there I'll start building, or you know, Peter's like having ideas as well, and we'll just build off that, or sometimes we'll just go ahead and just say, you know, he'll just start playing bass, and we'll always go off him starting off, and then we'll just kind of make a jam song.
Okay.
We never record it, so we can't bring it back, but we're like, oh, that was a good idea. Like, yeah, let's keep that, and then the next day, like, we forget about it.
I mean,
but it'll come back eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just sitting down and then be able to just play it out is really cool, and then having ideas come in. Like, whoever writes the music though, and like the idea comes in, for sure, that's a song that would probably be happening, because at least they remember how it goes. The jams are kind of harder, but I think we have like one song. At least that came from a jam, right?
Oh, silhouettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I got too chill. I'm like,
it happens. So
Yeah.
so Silhouettes, you said, was a jam song that you guys just kind of felt the room out and everything. Just kind of
we got really drunk, and we're just like, oh man, let's just jam today. And everyone just like, because it was just this immediate push. Like, we had 3 weeks, and we made 6 songs in 3 weeks, and we're just like trying to clean it up in 3 weeks. And we had that like, and then a month later, or like maybe 3 weeks later, we're just like, we just got to jam. So Silhouettes was one of the like, it was one of those riffs. Caesar had this really cool riff, and like it's just like, no, keep going, keep playing that, and then like taking it home and like giving it a structure. We approached it again, and it slowly built. And when you work at it that way, like I feel that's more of the direction. Like whoever has a riff, you take it home. We all share our ideas, and like
it's more organic that way. It's not like you're forcing it out. It's more like when it's a jam, it just kind of comes out rather than you making it.
I mean, and then so when you guys are playing, like, do you guys change something a lot? Like, is there always like, hey, would it be better if we changed it this way, or is it more of like, hey, I have this, add more to it?
It probably fits both, because starting it off, it's like if we don't like it, we'll just say like, I don't know about that. It's like hit it differently, and definitely later on, it's like, oh, it'd be cooler if you had this part instead.
Yeah, Peter's really blunt, so he's just like, I don't know about that.
No, fuck that. That sucks.
Man, I feel like
trust
you need that though. Yeah, you need that. You need somebody that's just like, nah, write it again. Like,
because if everyone's like, no, that's great, that's awesome, and it's not, you're not going to get anywhere.
We get that too from Peter. He's like, oh, give me more. We take those. And we're just like, Peter,
I mean, it's good
feel good.
You have somebody who's super opinionated, at least, because they're kind of like, they'll tell you if it sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And like, if he challenges it, we got to like come at it stronger. I'm like, all right, it means I'm not being confident about it.
Really
all
have
right,
to,
restructure.
Yeah, and like,
okay.
Hell yeah.
You need, I mean, obviously it shows. Like the tracks that you do have on Bandcamp are really good fucking tracks. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, really do enjoy them. Speaking of which, we can actually play one right now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a little breakers. Actually, because I also wanted to talk about this the show that you did live at the Prospector.
Yeah,
you've already mentioned it. You played there a bunch of times. Like, what is it? Where is the Prospector? Who's run? Like,
who's the Prospector?
Yeah,
Prospector
who is the Prospector?
Is in Long Beach on 7th Street and what was it?
Junipero.
Yeah, Junipero. something like that. And, it's a
What'd
cool.
you just call him?
Dude, good.
He'll stop booking us, you motherfuckers. Shit on. No, it's a really cool venue. One, because the bar owner or the bar manager, I guess you'd
Oh,
say.
cool. It is a bar. That means
Yeah.
points right there for me.
Yeah, definitely. We've been really cool with him since the last band as well. So he's always willing to work with local artists, always willing to say, if you want to host a night.
And it's just like a local dive that's there? Like
Local
Yeah.
dive, a little more better than a local dive just because
It's got a stage.
It's got a
Sound
stage
system.
and a sound system.
Yeah.
They hired a
Okay.
guy, Alex, does a really good job on
Oh,
sound.
okay. Cool, cool.
So that's how we got the recordings, for instance, and
Yeah. They're actually really good recordings too. Like I was surprised. I was like, live. I don't know if I can play this. I listened to it. I was like, yeah, this is actually really good.
Oh, good.
I know,
yeah,
good quality.
It's not the handheld in the crowd, the
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even tell you guys how, because I think you followed me first.
I
Yeah.
saw on Ratt Talk.
Yeah, I think that's how it happened. And I was like, oh, I wonder who these guys were. So I just looked and I was like, oh, all right, like, cool, thanks. Like that's awesome. Thank you. And then I actually started structuring my show and everything. And I was like, you know what? Like I want to have bands play. You know, at the first, but you guys were actually one of the first bands that I thought of.
Oh,
I was
tight.
like, yeah,
Oh,
bands
that's
that,
tight.
yeah, I was like bands that don't know, and I was like, dude, some like those guys right there. So I went straight immediately back to
Yeah,
your
have we had
page and
another
everything, followed you
band?
guys back, and what?
Have we had another band on?
I've had multiple bands.
I
I've
just
had-
haven't been here.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Gargoyles, Ice
That's what it
Bag.
was.
Yeah, I've had Gargoyles, Ice Bag, Old Shepherd.
That's when I wasn't invited. But now I'm
You
invited.
played a metal band the other day. They were tight.
The
Caustic. Was it the
Maybe.
last episode?
I don't,
Depending
They're
on how
actually
recent
pretty
it was,
tight.
because we do play a bit of metal.
Yeah, we
Two
play
or
a lot of
three.
metal. That's my preferred. If you haven't noticed, got my long hair, dude.
But we like other things too. We like a little bit of everything. We play a little bit of ska shit, a little
Yeah.
bit of
Rap.
punk, rap.
Punk.
I said punk.
Yeah, but I feel like we like to have a little variety, so it's nice to change things up, to be a little little chill and everything. So we're gonna take a break. Let's go ahead and chill right now. We're gonna take it out on Stormy Connections because we played Atlantis on the last episode, and we played Stormy Connections on the last episode too, but that was at the end. So we'll play this one in the middle, and then we'll do By the Park at the end.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see,
Good
see,
shit.
there you go, got it. So we'll take it out. Be right back. Wait, that's not the right song. Sorry.
Good one.
This one's about
There you go.
about stormy connections.
About long distance connections. When it's raining and you don't know where it's coming from, but it's happening. So I guess you have to just let it happen. And you just let it happen. And then you write a song about it.
Was this the grand reception that you wanted to see? When you came back on what all those things that took your energy? When you go, do you think of me? Late nights and superstitions I will get. Perfect vision to see what I've really done. This is our last dance where we face what we face. It's not that I'm scared of this, but my medicine has a bitter taste. When you go, will you think of me? Late nights and superstitions I will get. Perfect visions to see what I've really done.
Look at that.
Hey,
Perfect.
we're
Bro.
back.
Bro.
Perfect timing. That was like the quickest piss ever.
Yeah, I had to. Let me just adjust the volumes real quick.
Whoa.
Just this
Make
shit.
sure, yeah. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was you guys. Hey, that was
Yay.
you. So, sorry.
Go for it.
This is where I get a little Rickish.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
So that was from when was this? The Live at the Prospector. When was this
That
recorded?
one?
That
2
was
months ago.
2 months ago.
Because we didn't get the
that was
most
a
recent.
third night, right? Or was that a second? No,
Second
second
night.
month. So that's 3 months, 4 months, 2 months ago. What's the month?
Two.
Ah, shit,
Two.
okay.
The fourth.
How long have you guys even been together, man? Like, how long has the Sunset
This
Couriers
group?
been around? Yeah,
4 months.
4 months.
Legit
4
four.
months.
Wow,
You guys
that's
done a
crazy.
lot
So
in that
yeah,
time.
that was just like within what a month of you guys even practicing. Like,
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Because we did 1 month of practicing, and I think the show was on the 9th or the 7th or something like that.
The first show was Max Bloom's with Above Ground.
No, but I'm talking about the second Prospector show, though.
Oh, that was like July 15th.
Okay.
okay,
Tuesday, I remember.
I'll never forget my first kiss.
so then let's talk about that first show then. When, where? How did that happen? The first show, yeah. How did
Radio.
where did you make
from,
your debut?
No. You know, we also Radio from Above Ground Music. He was a guy we knew back in like the last band as well, and the guy was really cool. He was trying to host. He actually hosted a couple places over there in the OC area a lot, and I think we hit him up or he hit us up. I forgot which one was it.
Oh, he was just like, hey, man, I heard you have a new band. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're looking for a gig.
Wait, you actually made that noise too?
Yeah.
Heard you're in a new band. Oh.
So he helped us out with that, and it was we're a new band, so first slot. Max Bloom's is a coffee shop, so we got like a good 5 in the crowd.
There you go.
That's probably not the worst show we played though. We've had like one person. What was probably the last band? I don't know where we were at. Maybe Guess It. Oh yeah, Guess It.
Prepare to stop.
Prepare to Stop. And we had a show where I think we had
There was
crowd
one
of
person?
two maybe.
2 people?
And the one guy, I even had him as a guest star, show up and like
Oh.
Really?
Edgar jump on guitar really quick.
Man.
This is how I got the scar because Federico
Yeah.
fucking attacked me with his guitar.
Oh, no,
Oh.
he jumped in front.
He jumped in
Jesus.
front of it, I swear.
But he looked really epic with it. They're just like, oh, bro, you look so epic bleeding. And, you know,
Go
you
on
guys go
stage.
hard.
I didn't know that I was bleeding halfway. It was like the wrestler kind of thing where they have a razor and like then the blood comes down. It's pretty much like just a video footage I have of like me like jumping around and then there's just blood at some point.
Like, oh, shit.
You're like, it just looks like you graze his guitar real quick, and then it's just like, like you didn't even hit it.
So,
It just slightly touched you.
yeah. So back to Sunset Couriers though. The first show we had, I mean, it was cool. It definitely, just kind of. I mean, hopefully for me at least inspired me because this is my first time playing drums live, really for something serious, and it's like I liked it a lot.
I know. I'm still tripping. Like, how did you just picked it up like that, huh? Like,
Like,
just
Nothing.
I dabbled like throughout my lifetime,
Okay.
pretty much, but
because I can't keep a fucking beat, dude. I can't multitask.
I think that's the lucky
my
part.
body. My body just can't do that, dude.
I think that's the lucky part I have in my blood. I think I honestly think my dad just will fuck around with it, and
Okay.
I've seen this like throughout the years playing. He'll always jump on the drummer's drum set and start banging the shit out of it.
There you go.
And I was like, usually people like, that's like, but he is like going hard.
He's
and
got
I'm just
he's got
like-
beat. He's got a tempo.
and I'm
Yeah.
trying to
he's
tell him
got-
like, you played drums before? He's like, no, never. And I was
it's
like,
just that natural
"Sounds
talent,
good."
man.
It's
Just
just-
that natural fucking
You can
talent.
dick around on a drum set. That's what I like to pretend that I can do, although I don't do it often enough to actually get good at it. But my dad, he knows how to drum, so there's always been a drum set around. So sometimes, so like I'll kind of play around on it, and then it'll get put away. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that was fun for a second.
Yeah, my brother has a drum set too, and like I
I've
I
tried
stay away
it.
from that thing. Every time he uncovers it, I cover it back up.
Was it like
Oh.
a Step Brothers kind of thing going on?
No.
Nah, you just
I know you're lying because Cops doesn't come on till 4.
oh goodness. No, they have their own interests because Matt plays guitar and his brother drums and his other brother does bass. So they all had their own. They could have done a little three-piece themselves.
Family band thing going on.
Exactly.
Whoa.
The heavy metal brothers.
Except none of them sang though.
Yeah.
None of them want to try.
We all screamed. It was just
That's energy, man. That's
It's energy, bro. It's
Exactly.
energy.
That's all you need. I feel like
Dude, my oldest brother Julian used to be in a punk band, and they were called Filling the Void. And they had a song called Angry. And all it was one chord pretty much, like 3 chords. And it was just the singer going, angry, angry, angry. And then he did that. They probably did that like 12 times, and then the song would end.
Yeah, some little, and then back to the verse again. Yeah.
No, there was. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't even remember that. I just literally think it was just like the one, just the verse riff over and over and over again.
I love that though. It's really
No, it was raw, dude. Like,
Yeah.
they fucking
straight up.
They
That's
played
what
a
it
show. They played a show in my brother's biological dad's backyard. Well, his grandpa's backyard. He threw because they have a really big backyard, and he threw a show back there one time, and they fucking filled that place up, dude. Like it was all fucking crazy, filled with a bunch of punks and everything. It was badass. But have you guys played any shows like that? What was the most packed show that you've had?
150 people.
No way! What?
Youth Blender? We drove out all the way out to Rialto, and they're just like, oh, I wonder if those Long Beach bands are going to show up. Because we play all the time in Long Beach. So sometimes we get considered as a Long Beach band. But to like Long Beach bands, we're like kind of there.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you play in Long Beach. But, you
play at a place
like
in Long
right
Beach.
in the middle.
we get along with all those dudes. But like outside, when you mention like, oh, yeah, we have like a unofficial residency. Because you always host like one Tuesday out of the month. And like,
Really?
it gets lit. It does get lit. We're
Really?
bringing
No
video
way.
games. Yeah, that Prospector night we host. We bring in video games and like
No fucking way.
it's either like it's really packed or
Maybe
just
we should
Yeah.
do a show from there one day.
We're really cool.
No.
Oh, say.
Yeah, sure. Got a good idea, sure. But no shit, you guys play once a month there.
yeah.
Nice, that's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
So we like set up a lineup and we're just like, what do we do?
Yeah, Federico. Every time we set up a show, is low key panicking.
I'm a very anxious person. I'm just like, because I'm very immediate. So I'm like, I need to do something now.
Oh man.
I
You
gotta do
need to just
something.
record the sounds that you make, like, and then dub them over a porno, and I shit you not, there will be no difference. There will be no difference, like at all.
That was one of the goals, though. We have a song called "Spit It Out," and we're just
oh
like,
my god! I imagine
get
what
that
that's
on
Pornhub. Songs to watch porn to. Dude, imagine that, like, not even watching porn, like listening to music while watching porn and beating off. Multitasking,
God
dude.
damn.
I can't do that.
I wonder if
Gives you a
somebody would
beat.
put out an album like that. Songs to watch porn to.
There's
Songs to watch porn to.
there's a genre called porncore. It's like
What?
thrash metal, pretty much.
Nice.
And nonstop like blast beats, but it's like all you hear is like, and then you go ahead and hear like someone like
Those are the
they'll
lyrics.
Sample,
Those are the lyrics.
they'll sample like a fucking chick that's screaming, and then after that they'll go ahead and just like
Oh my god.
then they'll start like the screaming something, but you can't. It's like
Whoa.
pig squeals, so it's
Oh
like
my god.
it's something.
Fuck is going on?
Oh
If
man,
you
that's
haven't looked
fucking
up
great.
porncore, go for it.
Porncore, that's my new favorite genre.
Oh god.
we gotta have one of those bands come in next.
Oh god. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, fuck it. Why not? We got drag queens who talk about taking shits
Hey,
on
no,
stage.
all right. You
like,
want an equal to drag queens? We gotta have a porn star in here. That's what we gotta do.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
oh, we have a friend who knows one, and like I
Really?
think we're swiping on someone's Tinder, and they looked at it, and they're just
Wait,
like,
you guys were
huh.
swiping together on? You guys were looking
Guys,
at Tinder
double,
together?
yes.
Guys do that, and they're just like, this dude was showing me it, and like it was a friend of ours.
You need
It
you
might have
need
been in
the
the band.
judgment. Like you need to be.
That's
like,
true. I guess girls do that too. We'll sit down, like we'll be like, "Oh, is he cute?" Left, right.
Oh. Well, I think it was Kevin. He was like, "Oh, And we were just like, oh, this chick says in her bio she's a porn star. And we looked it up. We're like, what the fuck? And she's like, she has a mutual friend. And we're just like, that person is someone we know really closely. What the
Who's that mutual friend? No fucking way. That guy's been holding out on you the entire time?
Exactly.
Motherfucker.
How the fuck did we get here?
Bro, just ride the wave.
I know, this is what this podcast does.
No, but we were still talking about your shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
We
like,
started talking about porncore. That's what it was.
Damn it.
it's our next big extravaganza, you know?
So you said
What?
the first Tuesday of every month?
That's what we'll aim for. We'll aim for that. If
Or
not,
any
it'll be
Tuesday.
some Tuesday.
Yeah, that's same time as Comedy at the Dollar.
I
You
know.
guys can't
Why
come
is
do that
everybody
now.
doing
Third
like
Tuesday,
Third Tuesday?
for sure.
That's cool.
Giving a month out
Yeah.
because, like, any sooner. I've tried planning a show and I had to cancel it within a week because, like, oh, you got the show. And I'm like hounding this
shit.
guy. And he
Yeah.
was just like, I got a week and I got so anxious and I was already hosting 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was that was that show at Ferns and I was just like, bro, I
yeah.
cannot do this. I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just because I was raised, it's like, look, man, you could fuck up and you can like slip up, but you own up to it. And you're just like, hey, man, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's like, I sent him a message the next day. It was like, I didn't get a response from him. Just like, well, I'm pretty sure I burned that guy.
Yeah. Exactly. You're going to ask him, hey, can we play a show? No, fuck you. That's what he's going to say. Yeah. Motherfucker.
Fuck. Oh, we got other bars. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, see?
I don't know.
So it doesn't
you
matter.
you run into that and like,
I mean, again, like it's the business. Like it happens. Like you can't.
you gotta get a thick
Yeah.
skin. You
One,
gotta be
yeah.
like,
One
"Fuck
thing
it,
that
bro."
one thing that I've realized, like a lot of people come in here and they're just like, dude, you just can't let anything phase you because anything could fucking happen. Like
Yeah.
you can get your big break, your next fucking show, or you can, you know, like
Everything
yeah,
will fall apart.
Yeah, like you'll have the worst show that you can ever have, and you know, it's just your own persistence about what you can do with that. Who do you have on your shows now? Like, is it you? So you guys are playing, obviously, putting yourself on your own shows, right?
Oh, hell yeah. Why, like-
Yeah.
Might as well. No, usually we grab friends we can, like, you know, well, not friends, but more like we meet bands, you know, me and Federico. Mainly Federico.
Are you doing more of the booking, like getting people to, like, are you double teaming on this? I should say. Are
Usually it's all on Federico's.
Okay.
We'll, you know, he'll go ahead and invite me all the time.
you're the name on it, but
He's
you're
the-
also the backup. Like
Yeah, I'm the guy, like the little guy with the buff. You
you're
know?
like you're like Silent Bob, dude. Like
There you go.
you're the sidekick, man, that
So,
stands in the background. But when
You
it's
give the
your
yes or
time to
no.
speak, you got some fucking knowledge on you, man. That's what it is.
Is that how it is?
Gabe usually like does the talking, and I'm over here like panicking.
Oh,
like,
so you're Silent Bob.
I'm sorry. No, bro. I was running around. I'm like, where's the sound guy? Where's the sound guy? And like some shows, I'm like, other times,
okay.
I'm like, hey, you guys got 15 minutes to set up. Or like I run around talking to everyone, and Gabe's just like talking to everyone the whole night. And I was
He's
like,
like, hey, how's it going today, guys?
I'm really fucking around. It's like Federico's
good, man.
panicking.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, man.
Gotta smoke weed.
Yeah.
I'm off for a month. Trying to be that teacher thing, right? So I'm
Yeah.
off for a month. It's been a month. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm gravy, you know?
Yeah, coming back to it now. So what? So
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I need to get that job first.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, I'm chilling. I'm good.
Yeah.
So right now you're just like, I don't gotta fucking
I
worry
see
about
you,
it, man.
bro, and
Yeah,
I'm like-
fucking cool. Sorry. So,
What about the shows?
Oh yeah, back to the show. So I mean, we usually go out and just, you know, we see something like, because we try to like follow, you know, we try to follow the scene that's local.
okay.
If we hear something we like, we'll go out and see them, and like hopefully say, hey, we're trying to host a show. Do you want to play for it? If we're in Long Beach, we'll try to catch Long Beach bands. If we're anybody else or like OC area, we'll try to catch OC bands. And you know, knowing promoters also do it as well, because we work with promoters a lot. They have their list of bands, like Above Ground Music for Radio. A lot of those bands on that, like, we like a lot. They're really cool guys. Everyone's really awesome, and we'll try to work with that. You know, just I think it's cool
So
to
they
bring
got
in
their favorites, and you got your favorites too. That you're like, yeah, let's
Pretty
get these
much.
people in.
I mean, it's also been a shift because we went from like punk, and just because like the way I strum guitar, it's a little bit more chill.
Okay.
It's still like boom, 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 but it's like
Yeah.
a fast chill. So we always get punky strokes. So we're like slowly like more like hanging out with different bands, and other bands are just.
I mean,
like,
that's really
you
like
know?
two different genres pretty much coming together, man. Like you're uniting.
That can be
people
your
right
thing,
now.
though. That's really cool because it kind of like you taking two different genres that I at least enjoy and kind of making a little hybrid.
Ooh,
So
taking little notes.
yeah,
Exactly. Detective over here.
because I mean we were talking about it during the break too. How it reminds me of one of my friends, his brother-in-law's band, People Flavor. Really cool, solid. You know them or know of them at all?
No, I'll look them up. That's
they're,
why.
they're really I mean they're really
They're
good.
good.
They're good.
They're good. Talk about a bass that fucking jams, dude. When their bass player, when he fucking plays, dude, he has energy as well. Like,
Yeah.
very entertaining to watch.
Really cool. Definitely got like an Arctic Monkeys type like influence for sure. But yeah, some of the sounds are kind of it's really heavy. It's hard to explain, but it's really cool. But I kind of like how you guys do something like that, but there's also something kind of punky about it too, in a way. Like I like that.
Not
Punky's
chill
punky.
people. We're not chill people.
Well, the music is fairly chill. Like it's chill. It's not as in your face as like punk,
yeah.
but there's certain elements about it, like you're saying, like the way that you stroke. That's kind of like that kind of comes in there too.
I blame the way I drum too. I think about
Yeah.
when I go at it. I love how punk drumming goes. I like how. I mean, I'll go for energy versus technicality. Like energy is like the biggest thing about a drummer that like really like turns me on. But you know, it's like I watch a drummer play and they could be as technical as they want, and it's good. Like you know, like oh man, that guy's really good. You know, props to that guy. But this is if it looks boring, I don't like. And if it looks like just sitting there like. You know, just going ahead and like banging something, but like not moving, no head gestures, nothing like no.
You want to see a person get into it.
I love seeing facial expressions on the drummer. If they look like they're getting into it, or they just have this weird ass face. all
The shit
time,
face,
it's
dude. That's what I
Yeah.
call it. The one that look like they're taking a shit.
yeah.
That's what I call it.
So
I like it when I don't even see their face when they have just that hair in front of them. They're just going at it.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to grow my hair out now. Too. It looks cool as shit. But no, it's as long as there's that, like as long as there's energy, like, and that's why I always wanted to go for drum. That's why I was like, you know, screw it, I'll play drums for this one because I just want to go for that energy. And so far, it's been working. I guess kind of to have energy.
It does, man.
I know,
People
man.
are just like, oh. It's
Just
like,
like
man, you go hard.
Yeah, you definitely have to like have
know.
good stamina to be a drummer because I've seen them fucking.
I know. How does it feel, man, being on stage with playing with this group? Like, how's it?
No, it's
How do you think the chemistry is?
a lot of good stuff going on. A lot of good vibes. It's just it works out a lot just because how we, Peter's the big hype guy. Federico's the one that's like kind of chill about everything and he'll say something dumb, make everyone laugh. Caesar, I think, is like very serious approach about it, but at the same time he'll fucking wear a costume and just like run in the stage really quick or run in the pit really quick after done playing, and
Nice.
it works well. Like if there's a mess up, we'll just like
Brush it off, like
like it's
doesn't
not, we're not
faze you.
gonna fucking stop playing or something like that. So
that was another quality that.
unless we're like super baked, so
Oh,
They're like, oh no.
Is there a big story?
Yeah. Yes, there is. Our old band, we played was it a Halloween show last
yeah, we
year?
hosted a Halloween show on my pad, and one of the other bands, he worked at a dispensary, so he brought like as much as you can grab for the brownie section,
Fuck
pretty
yeah.
much. And we were pretty lit because we pretty much had a bunch of alcohol, pretty much. And
You're
we made
already
some-
drinking.
We
like,
made
you're
some
feeling
jungle
good.
juice, so I'm pretty fucked up. And I go ahead and like take one of these, and I'm eating this brownie by myself, and I'm realizing I shouldn't eat like the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
Did you know that there was it was a pop?
I
brand?
totally
Okay.
knew. But at the same time, I'm drunk, so I'm thinking it's just a normal brownie. And
Yeah.
then it's
You get
an
like drunk
edible.
munchies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I go ahead and try to reason myself and say, okay, well, I won't eat it by myself. I don't want to waste it, so I'll give it to my
Yeah.
band members. And so I gave it to Federico. He took a bite. I gave it to my drummer. He took a bite. Went to my bassist, and I was like, hey, man, here. He's like, oh,
Wrong.
don't worry, man. I got my own. And he's already halfway through his. And I looked at him I'm like, man, you cannot eat that by yourself. You got to share it. I was like, share it with Kevin, or the drummer. And I was sharing with Federico too. And so at some
my
point,
God.
we've all ate like at least a third.
2 brownies.
That was something
pretty
that was
much,
like
yeah.
very
2 brownies
brownie.
between 4 people.
And
Oh god.
Everybody got their own brownie.
you know, at first
Pretty much.
after that we were good. You know, we were okay. And then I'm walking my friend because he's taking off early. It all just hits me. You know, I'm like,
You started getting fuzzy from the sides.
it's like it's not the fuzz. It's just like I time travel, and when I get like that with edibles, I don't take them anymore because I don't
fucking
like
hit
it.
88, dude, and just burst into flames like that.
So like, yeah, I go ahead and I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty messed up. Like I know this feeling. And I'm trying to walk back to my house, 10-minute walk, but it honestly felt like an hour. And I find Federico, and I'm like, yo, man. And he just looks at me. He grabs me. He's like, dude, I'm feeling delays. And I'm like, where's Kevin? And we go and try to find Kevin. He's just on the floor, like, what is life? What is anything? And I was like, holy shit. Like, no one drink, no one eat, like, anything anymore. Just chill, drink water. We're just trying to find a way to get sober. Because we had, like, about...
An hour.
No, we had
and
longer. It
15
was
minutes.
2 hours to start it off.
It was an hour and a half.
Oh, man. Really?
It
I was
wasn't
like-
that much time. We were
No
panicking.
concept
We're
of
like,
time.
And we try to go ahead and try to find our, I'm trying to find a bassist. And I look at him, I'm like, hey, man, you good? He's like, dude, I'm pretty messed up, but whatever. And he keeps eating. I'm like, stop eating that. Stop fucking drinking. Like, we got to play pretty soon.
He's shoveling it in his mouth. Just, I'm fucking big, dude.
He's like, it's just like, I'm gonna get this and eat the last of it, and that's it.
Oh god.
And showtime comes around, and we're so
shit.
gone. Like, setup took half an hour. It was like way fucking long for us because we just set up really quick. Like 5 minutes into it, we're good to go. It's like 30 minutes to set up with the help of other people that had to help the drummer because he couldn't set up anything.
My God.
As for like, I think Federico's guitar wasn't even plugged in when we started playing, and like Trevor's on the bass and started sitting on the wall, sleeping on the wall.
midway through, was it that Sail With Me?
Fucking
Yeah, our
rock and roll, dude.
drummer fell asleep on drums, like cold, knocked out.
What?
'Cause their
Midway
drum-
song.
it did not play any. There's no drums behind me, and I'm like playing the song, and I'm like, something's missing, and I was like, all right.
The rest of the band?
Trying to
Like,
figure it out. And I was like, what's missing? And I kind of looked behind me. I just see Kevin on the snare laying flat.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, Kevin, wake up. And he wakes up and he's like, what happened? And then I realized at some point I'm just like,
who are you people?
This is gone. Like, we should probably just do like one more song and then like call it quits. We ended like
my
our set
God.
like 4 songs. And that
4
was
songs
it.
in.
We cannot.
Oh my God.
Everyone had a good time though.
That's
Like,
fucking rock and roll though. Yeah, that's fucking badass.
Somebody commented sabotage Halloween show. Is that what it was?
Sabotage Halloween. Show.
Oh, Sabotage. That's what we nicknamed it. Oh, like,
Oh,
the other
okay.
band, Sabotage.
They drugged us.
Oh.
That's a Jennifer Ochoa.
Yeah, that's actually.
Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen, we still love you. That was our old manager for the old band.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Shout out to Jen. There you go. You get the horn. We haven't used any fucking sound effects to start.
I know.
so-
Usually we're all over that horn and all the sound effects.
Yeah. Well, actually, not usually just the horn, not the rest of the sound effects. But I've been actually doing pretty good today. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man.
No, we got a couple good sound effects too.
Yeah. So it's getting towards the time of Halloween. I always since it's since it's Halloween time, pretty much.
It's Halloween month.
It's
really.
it's Halloween month.
Every
so
day is Halloween.
what I'm
Okay.
doing every week, every episode for the month is asking you guys if you have any scary stories, personal ghost stories. That's what
I
it's
like
been
this.
really
Whoa.
been. Personal ghost stories that you have for us that you want to tell people about. Give everybody a nice, good, scary story before we end the episode.
We got paranormal ones.
Yeah, paranormal.
do
That's
it,
what
do
I
it,
mean.
do
Yeah,
it, do it.
yeah,
Which one should
paranormal
I
ones.
say?
You want me
Paranormal,
to
real
start or you start?
ghost story, real ghost stories. That's what I'm saying.
I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2.
Okay, one for each of you. There you go. That's 2.
Okay. So one that happened, I'm just gonna say it. Was it? Because I'm pretty sure it was. Fuck, I'm drunk. No, I'll mention it. I'll mention it. No, legit.
want me to go
Because my
first?
family does have ties. My family does have ties, and I'm pretty sure it was a mob hit, and my uncle passed away. And I was just
Okay.
like, fuck. But
You can leave it.
there
at
was a
that.
phone call my sister got, and it was just like, hey, I need to talk to your mom. And it's like the day after we buried him. He's like, "Hey, this is your uncle." I'm like, "Oh." She starts panicking. He's like,
What
"Oh,
the
oh."
fuck?
And I was there.
Get
I was
the
like, "What is
phone
going
going.
on?" And she's like, "Oh." And then she hangs up, and like,
What
"Oh,
was the
I
number
think-
that called?
I don't know, I'm not sure. I was a
Nancy?
kid, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What's going on?" And my mom comes out, and he's like, "Oh, you know who called?" It's like, "Oh, that was her uncle." He's like, "I was expecting that call. He was still trying to reach me." Da 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 da.
What?
What?
Finished because like how it is my mom and my little bro, they grew up in a motel, so they they're the youngest siblings. They looked out for each other.
Yeah.
Everything. So that ghost is still in our house. Like I'll still see my uncle in the hallway, and I'll be like, sometimes I say hi, sometimes I talk to him. That's how I am. I'm like, cool, yo, dude. But he's still there because he still looks over my mom because they're the two youngest, and like no matter what happened, like whatever people got tied in, it's just like they were the two youngest because all the other ones they're just
They
like
have this connection.
yeah, they're the youngest ones looking out for each other, and like he's still there looking over my mom because they would always look over each other.
That's crazy.
Hell yeah! So I was just like, as fortunate things happen, like people feel that spiritual thing, and just like, so like sometimes I go to
That's
sleep.
weird that your mom would be like, I was expecting that call. Like, fuck. Like,
She had a feeling, and she was
Yeah.
just like, I have a feeling like he needed.
he's gonna
tell
try to
me
reach out.
something.
Yeah, like, he's gonna try to reach out to me at least.
But I
like,
think that's why he's still there. He wasn't able to finish that message because he was the baby.
Yeah,
He was the baby.
the baby boy.
Yeah.
Damn.
So you see him
bro.
now all the time? So you just see him in your house chilling?
Yeah, I try not to tell my girlfriend to freak her out, but there's like things in my house and legit because like on top of like
We're gonna spend the night at your house, dude. We're just gonna.
oh boy, the flashlights.
Flashlight.
yeah.
We'll have a bunch of cameras
Ouija
set up
board.
and everything.
No Ouija board. My
We
family's
don't need
gypsy.
a Ouija. Yeah, we don't need a Ouija
Nah.
board.
No, I'm gypsy
Yeah,
blood.
see, there you go. Like,
you don't
yeah.
fuck with like superstitions.
You don't need that shit.
No.
Yeah, you don't need it already. Fucking- you guys like sage the house like on a regular basis all the
That-
time.
On a regular, that's like other. We're
Is
still
it?
Mexican, but like, you know, we don't sage it. We have like other things.
You got
There's
instant,
like different
actual shit.
subcultures and like
Throw bread on the floor.
throw bread on the
I
floor.
don't know what you guys do. I don't know.
Yeah, we dance around and sing. Yeah, bro. But Gabe has a trippier one,
Once a
bro.
month, they put a grape up their butt. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know your culture. I don't know what they do.
Bro, don't give away the secrets.
That's how we keep the bad juju over there. Oh, no shit. All right. So you said you had two, though. That was one.
That was Gabe. Gabe. Or you want to hear my second one?
Oh, yeah, we could do. Yeah,
Tell your second one and
Tell
then
your
we'll
second
have
one.
The second one? I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure, you know, it's just paranormal, but like a lot of things happen in the closet. There's things that happen in the closet.
Well, Jesus.
You see little
There's a lot of
figures,
things that does that. It does happen in the closet a lot. For
'cause there's this-
everybody, all right.
Oh, okay.
For everybody. I'm not singling you out. All right?
It is National Coming Out Day, so
Hey,
There you go.
congrats. Hold my hand, Gabe. No. There's like dancing figures that happen in the closet. I remember like laying down there. I'm like, am I dreaming? And I was awake, and I see this little hand just like dancing, and it wave at me. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I start crying, and I fall asleep, and I wake up, and there's an alien. And I was just like, oh fuck, man, fuck my life.
Yep.
I don't like any of this shit.
That's crazy. Well, shit like that would happen to my brother. Actually, he would see a lot.
Yeah.
He would see a lot of shadows and whatnot.
Oh, that still happens,
Yeah.
bro.
Mhm.
You're making a
Yeah.
sandwich, and it's
I
just
know.
like, oh shit, what's
Yeah.
going on? You're just like, oh no, I'm gonna leave the kitchen. But that's
Yeah.
my stories. I'm already lit, bro.
Yeah.
You see me 2 beers in.
That's enough
Gabe,
beers.
take over, bro.
Okay. There's only one I remember like a lot, and I think I was 4 years old.
Mhm.
We used to live in an apartment. I guess someone died in that complex in general, and I was trying to sleep one day in the room, and I looked in my closet, and I see this like thing glowing, and I'm like, oh shit, what the hell's that?
Mm.
And I saw like eyes pop up, like big old eyes, and I started freaking out. I was like the thing, but the thing didn't approach; it just stayed in the closet and moved slowly.
Mhm.
And then it went ahead and like started smiling, like this smile came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, something like you see like a UFO kind of thing, like an alien kind of thing, like a cliche, but
some just
but
yeah,
more
pure,
but
you
more
know.
human, and like it started smiling, and the smile reached like cheek to cheek.
Yeah,
So it was like a huge smile kind of thing.
that's crazy.
And I'm like really panicking,
Mhm.
and I don't want to say anything. Like, my parents are like in the other room, and I was like, I'm just gonna try to like hide from it. And my grandma made those knitting blankets, so the ones with all the freaking holes in it.
Yeah.
So after covering myself with that blanket, I can still see it, and I'm pretty sure you can still see me. I'm like, I'm fucked.
Yep. This is not a shield.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, the whole entire night, I was just freaking out and like bawling.
Couldn't sleep. Yeah.
And I looking at the thing, and at some point, I did just fall asleep. And I woke up the next day and like try to clean out my closet, and like I was like, Mom, I saw a ghost, and
Nah, it was just imagination.
pretty much. Only, but she wanted to. She believed in it, kind of. So she
Yeah.
wanted to see what was in that closet.
Yeah.
'Cause she thinks like there was a dead person buried under there or something like that. And so like, we
Excavating the
saw
the
nothing, but like
closet.
that was one that kind of like stuck with me.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like in Mexico, a lot of paranormal shit happens in Mexico.
I mean, yeah, that's actually all the time I hear shit about Mexico. Crazy shit happens in Mexico.
Yeah, and my great grandpa died, and pretty much like how Federico's story is almost the same way, but he kind of like came inside the door, looked at, and then like said, "Hey, come over here," and I was like, "Man, you're dead. You should
Yeah.
not be over here."
That's crazy.
And then he closes the door behind him, and that's it.
Wow.
So
Wow.
That's I mean that isn't abnormal. I guess that isn't an infrequent thing to happen though, especially for children. After a close relative dies, a close relative dies, someone that you were supposed to mainly grow up with and know very well, that gets taken away from you. You do see them eventually. Like there is my chiropractor actually. He told me of his wife died, suddenly of cancer, and his grandson they were at the funeral. They were having the funeral, and it's him at the edge of the pew, and then his grandson is next to him, and then and then his children and everything, and the grandson is like, why isn't anybody letting Nana in? That's what they called her. They called her Nana. Yeah, that's what. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, she's right there. Like, pointed to the casket and everything, or whatever, the urn, whatever. Like, pointed to the front and was like, yeah, she's right there. And he was like, no, like, and he would point at the door. He's like, no, she's right there. Like, and he would looked over there, and there was nothing there, and but like. Like kind of like she was saying goodbye to him, pretty much. Like that's what he thought. That's what he thought it was like, because they obviously love their grandson and everything, wanted to see him grow up. So that's what he, because he was telling the secretary or his receptionist about it and everything, and he's close with my mom, and I was there with my mom, for an appointment and everything, and that's what he was telling us. So that was just like, oh shit, like, it's fucking crazy, yeah. See, I'm full of stories too. But I'm gonna save the rest of my stories because there's still more.
I
There's
thought
still
about
more.
it.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
more months and everything. Yeah, there's still more days to go. So we're gonna go ahead and pack it in right now. Thank you guys so much for coming in and being such amazing guests, giving us an episode and making it a damn good one. So you guys are actually on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Well, are you on Twitter? Are you on?
Nah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But Facebook, Instagram at the Sunset Couriers. You guys can follow them there. They got shows at like first of every or the third Tuesday of every month.
It should be
Tuesdays.
the third
It's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, it's
Look
Tuesdays.
out for Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's a
And that's
great
at the
city.
Prospector, right? Like, that's
Yeah,
that's the place that you do.
It's the main
Mhm.
spot.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely follow the Instagram and everything. If you guys want to plug your personal shit, anything you want to plug your shit.
You got it.
I got it.
All
You
right.
got it.
Okay,
I'm lit.
so we got the EP release the 24th. We're doing a show for that. Prospector, actually, so that'll be our third Tuesday. So look out for that. Other than that, more shows. 19th in Downey, Epic Lounge. And
21st Halloween house show. Hit us up for the address.
oh yeah, this one won't be
Nice.
fucked up.
Nice. There you go. I love. Yeah, those places are.
House shows are always fun.
Yeah. But hit you up though. Those are like, oh fuck, that's on the ground, dude. Nobody knows about this place.
You have to know somebody to get in.
Again, Federico, Gabriel, thank you again for being such amazing guests and hanging out with us. This has been another amazing episode of Rat Talk. Anything you want to say? You want to give a shout out to anybody? Huh?
No shout outs, nothing. I'm
Yeah,
boring.
fuck everybody.
I've got- Yeah, fuck everybody, but yeah,
Shout
go
out
Rat
to-
Talk.
But yeah, we're gonna take it out on another song by the Sunset Couriers. Couriers.
The French accent
See,
with it.
I know. Couriers. Sunset Couriers. This is by the Park. Again, this is off the Live at the Prospector off their Bandcamp. So check them out, sunsetcouriers.bandcamp.com. That's where you can listen to that shit. Thank you guys again for being such amazing guests. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Rat Talk.
Songs about bringing pizza to your friends you used to hang out with at different special parts and places and parks. Yo, we'd like to thank Wade and Alex and Door Guy and the Prospector in general. We'll see you next time. Thank Manuel one more time. Thank you, bro, for bringing the games. This is called By the Park.
Got you on the next one.
By the park, it was so simple. By the park,